Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so we were talking about the animal tissues. Under that, we saw the different various kinds of the epithelial tissues. Right? Did you have any doubts in that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So we have completed the epithelial tissues. I'll give you time to write the rest of it also. Okay, now after that comes, one second. After that comes the connective tissue, the second type of tissues that are there in the human's body. So that are the connective tissues. Now see, there are variety of connective tissues that are found in our body, out of which they have been divided into several different categories. Okay. So when we talk about the connective tissues, like just like the name only tells us that it will connect things together, right? So the first and the most important connective tissue is the blood, which is obviously blood is a liquid that runs throughout our body, and blood is that tissue that connects almost everything in the body, isn't it? It is responsible for the transportation also. So blood is the fluid connective tissue of our body. The reason being it is fluid in nature, right? Now this blood in our body, it's not just as simple as it seems. It has been actually composed of a variety of components that are there in it. The blood has RBCs that are called as red blood cells. And because of the presence of red blood cells only, our blood appears red in color. Do you know the name of the pigment?
Hemoglobin.
Exactly, hemoglobin. Now, hemoglobin, apart from giving the reddish color, it has a great big function of carrying the oxygen and carbon dioxide, right? It is responsible for the transportation of gases. The next type of cells that are found in the blood are the WBCs, or the white blood cells. These are our warriors. Okay, they are the ones that fight any sort of foreign particle that enters our body. Our blood has a basic, you can say, just like how cytoplasm is there in a cell, same way the blood also has sort of like a matrix, and that matrix of the blood is called as a plasma. And apart from all of these three things, blood also has platelets in it. Now, platelets, they are responsible for the blood clotting in our body. So, like whenever we get any cuts or wounds, it's the platelets because of which we do not keep on bleeding for the rest of our life. Our bleeding, I think, if it is a deeper cut, also 1 to 2 days a maximum, and then the cut is always sealed with that, right? So, these are the components of major components of our blood. Furthermore, let us see what are the components that are present inside the plasma. So the plasma, I told you that it is the matrix of the blood. It is the fluid matrix of the blood, and it is colorless. It has no color. It contains proteins, salts, and variety of hormones in it. And plasma is also responsible for keeping the balance in the electrolytes. Okay. Now, to have a more descriptive version of it, the red blood cells, they also have another name, which is their scientific name. It's erythrocytes. These are the cells in the blood which contain the red colored pigment called as the hemoglobin. With the help of hemoglobin only, hemoglobin is denoted by HB. Okay, the RBCs, they transport the gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide in our body. So it's the medium of transportation of gases. The second one, these are the WBCs. Now, the white blood cells, they are the leukocytes, and these are the cells of the blood that do not have any color. They are colorless. Okay, leuko means that they are colorless. Apart from that, they have this ability that they can fight with any sort of foreign particle, whether it is a pathogen or even a dust particle. So it can fight with it, and it provides us with greater immunity. Talking about the platelets, so like I told you, these are the cell fragments which are responsible for the blood clotting whenever we have any wound, any injury, or any sort of cut. Clear? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
All right. Now, seeing the functions of the blood, or they can also ask you like, what are the functions of the fluid connective tissue? So, transportation of gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide, transportation of digested food, like once the food gets digested in our body, it gets transported to the whole entire body with the help of blood. It transports this hormones also, and also the waste materials are filtered or sent out with the help of blood only. And like that whenever we go to the doctor in case of any sort of vaccination is needed, that is also sent into our blood only, so that it travels to everywhere and provides a better this thing response or whatever is the cure to it. So this was about the first kind of connective tissue, that is called as the blood, which is a fluid connective tissue. Now the next connective tissue that we have is the bone. Now bone, it forms the structure of our body, sort of like a framework of our body, and all our muscles, all our cartilages, and these structures are actually attached onto the bones only. So they form sort of like a anchorage so that they can provide space for the muscles. And ultimately, what is the function of these? Like the blood that is there, the blood is responsible for supporting the main organs of our body. Right? It protects us, and it is a strong and non-flexible tissue. Right? That is why if we try to bend our hand from here, ultimately it will lead to the fracture. The reason being our bones are not flexible. They are very strong indeed, but since they are made up of calcium and phosphorus compounds, they are non-flexible. Okay? Because of these salts only, they are non-flexible. Now, two bones, like obviously one bone has to be connected with another bone. So, two bones are connected together with the help of another connective tissue, which we call as ligament. Okay, ligament is that tissue that connects bone to bone. It is very elastic and it has considerable strength, because imagine there is a tissue that is joining two bones together so firmly, right? So, it has to be it has to have that strength so that it can join them together. Ligaments, they contain very little matrix, that is the ground substance is very little in. Their main and the sole purpose is to attach two bones together. After that, we have another kind of connective tissue present in our body, that is the tendons. Now the tendons, it is responsible for connecting the bones to the muscles or the muscles to the bone. Right? So the reason why our bones can attach to the muscles, it's because of the presence of tendons. Tendons, they are yet another connective tissue. They have great strength, but again, they also have a limited flexibility. Now, coming on to the tissue that has actually a lot of flexibility to it, and that is the cartilage. Now, if I ask you to bend your ear that way, will you be able to do so? Or sort of if I ask you to wiggle your nose around, will you be able to do so? Try it. Right,
Yes,
it's
sir.
possible, right? The reason why you are able to do so, because you have cartilage over there, right? We can fold our ears, and that is because cartilage is present over here. So this is the connective tissue that has a lot of intercellular spaces. Okay, like the cells that are present in this tissue, they are widely spaced. So in between those cells, there are a lot of spaces present. And now the cartilage matrix, it is composed of the proteins and sugars. It doesn't have calcium in it, which makes it flexible. The cartilage smoothens the surface of bones at the joint. So the sole purpose of cartilage is to smoothen the surface to provide flexibility. Talking about where is it present? So the cartilage is present in all of these areas. In the tip of the nose, in our ears, in our trachea and larynx. See, our trachea, like our windpipe and this part of the body, it has rings, half rings of cartilage surrounding it. So for example, if this is the trachea, so half rings are present like that, like this. So that, like while we are breathing in, breathing out, so that our trachea, our windpipe do not collapse. Collapse means they don't stick like this. So for that protection, also to protect it from all sort of stresses, these, like the cartilage is present over there. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, moving forward to the next connective tissue, we have the areolar tissue. Now, areolar tissue is that tissue that is basically responsible, sort of imagine it like support. Okay, it has a lot of things to do with the support. So, where is it found? It is found in between the skin and the muscles. It is found around the blood vessels, around, right? on the periphery. It is found around the nerves and even inside the bone marrow. What does it do? It fills the space inside the organs. It supports the internal organs and it helps in repairing of tissues. So it has all of these things, and it is like the location is very important to remember, that where is it actually present. Now coming on to the last connective tissue, that is the adipose tissue. Now adipose tissue has two things to do. First of all, it provides insulation to the body, insulation meaning heat. Apart from that, it also provides cushioning to the body. Okay. So for example, I'll use a very funny example. Like if you sort of like slap, or not actually slap, or if you hit a friend that is very chubby, and if you hit a friend that is thin, thin as in thin, who will feel the hit more? The fat one, the chubby one, or the thin friend? Pain. Like I'm talking about the pain.
The
Never
thin
done
one?
that, so ma'am, how will I know? Yeah, the thin one, obviously. Why? Because they do not have enough shock absorbing tissues in their body, right? They are thin, so they just have muscles and bones and normal tissues in their body. So adipose tissue are those fat storing tissues of our body. They store fat in them. Where is it present? Primarily, it is present just below the skin and in between the internal organs. The reason being, sort of imagine them like a packaging material so that no shock is observed in the body and also no injury is observed in the body. The cells of this tissue, they are filled with fat globules. That is why they are the fat storing tissues. And because of the storage of fat, it acts as an insulator, that it provides heat whenever possible. Clear? So these are all the lists of the connective tissues that there are: blood, bone, cartilage, tendon, ligament, areolar tissue, and lastly the adipose tissue. So 7 types of connective tissues are there. Now tell me students if you have any doubts anywhere.
No.
Okay. All right, now you can note it down. First you complete your epithelial tissue. Where did you left off?
I'm in ciliated corner.
Okay. Okay, you can note it down now.
I'm done.
Yes, both of you are done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, first you note this thing, this flowchart, and then you write the description.
I'm done. I'm done.
Both of you all done?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm done.
Yes, both of you are done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I finished writing this.
Ma'am, I'm done.
Yes, both of you are done.
Yes, ma'am.
And students, shall I
Yes,
scroll?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.